put the wine down for a second, because at times like this, we need to take a shot of the olive leaf extract, because the olive leaf boosts our immune system and has been known to reverse high blood pressure, lupus, diabetes, and certain cancers. Check them out at myoliveleaf.biz to learn more and to order, or simply click the link below in the description box. Now back to the wine.
Wonder why the hell so many people are trying to tell me to slow down. Seems like motherfuckers should be shutting the hell up and enjoying the show.
He told Steve Harvey one day, "You're not my father. Jimmy Townsend my father," you know, like that. So I guess it kind of pissed me. This is Steve Harvey with the interview talking. And so when Jason told him that, it kind of pissed him off. And he told Jason, "I love your mama, so I got to love you. Now, where's that punk ass, dad of yours?" So I don't know if it was from insecurity or what. Could have been, nigga, you a multi-millionaire. I ain't nobody. You ain't got to worry about me.
So this man has never been in the same room with you.
Period. That's what he
called you a punk ass.
Yeah, that's what he told Jason.
I mean, you do look better than him.
Huh? I think so too. And you know something? I'm gonna be honest. I remember when Marjorie and I was together. She used to hate. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna tell it all. I'm gonna tell it all, y'all. She said, and it was fact. She used to check dudes with big lips. She was called them soup coolers.
You sure? Okay, cool. I'm just excited because we finally back in Memphis, and I've been telling my husband about this barbecue for 13 years, but for some reason he never thought Memphis was vacation worthy.
Really?
Yeah, he was like, "I can get barbecue anywhere." I'm like, "But you ain't gonna get no."
You love barbecue, huh?
Man, listen, I'm from Florida.
Well.
We cooked out every weekend.
Yeah.
Every weekend.
Yeah, I got a friend. They got, in fact, they was correctional officers.
Okay.
Here in Memphis. Right? But they relocated in Tampa. So they got a big old barbecue truck, Memphis barbecue.
See what I'm talking about? Now I'm gonna have to get down there to Tampa because I'm in Tampa all the time. I got family in Tampa.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call you for their barbecue pit because I like to judge the barbecue to see who got the best barbecue.
They say it's good, man.
Jimmy L. Townsend, we are in your city. Yeah?
Well, yeah. Chicago and Memphis.
Chicago and Memphis.
I really enjoy Chicago more than I did Memphis.
So are you from Chicago?
No, I migrated there when I was 19.
Okay.
That's where I got into the drug game.
Into the drug game. Now, would you consider yourself a drug kingpin? Is that what they?
Well, when you're moving kilos, yeah. you know.
Okay, so I always like to ask this question. So how many kilos would you guesstimate like you would move a week during your,
because where my connect was running at that time, probably about 30, 40.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just up and down. Yeah.
Now, were you getting yours from the cartel as well?
Yeah, I was getting it out of Miami.
Out of Miami?
And Houston, from Miami to Houston.
Okay.
Initially, it was in Miami.
Okay.
Yeah, that was back then when the Avenue was having drug wars and stuff back then in the 80s.
With the Haitians?
Well, it was the Colombians. It was the Colombians and the Cubans.
Colombians and Cubans. Wow. Now, let me ask you something. Now, we got these big, cartel members like Pablo Escobar and all them. You ever had run-ins with them? You ever do business with them?
No, I went to Caracas trying to get a connect. But basically, you got to understand, too, a lot of people don't understand, I was like a pioneer of it. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, explain.
So, yeah, so when I started left Chicago and came here, they was doing heroin. In fact, heroin was really big. It wasn't only white people was doing cocaine. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So you can consider me like a pioneer because I brought the cocaine here, and I'm not glamorizing this. So I let people know right off the bat. I mean, it's just what it is, and here's what it was. But yeah.
How long so you got into the dope game around 1920, like as soon as you got to Chicago, or was it?
1920.
I mean, I'm saying 19 or 20 years old.
Not that old.
Yeah, no. But Jimmy, you look good though. You walked up in here.
Well, thank you. I mean, I've been trying to take care of it.
If you don't mind me asking, I'm sure the viewers want to know, how old are you?
I'm 74.
74?
I made 74 on March 15th.
Man, listen, you got some 74-year-olds can't walk. They can't get out of bed.
I know, I'm truly blessed. Yeah.
You do
74,
not look
I know, younger than that. Can't get out of bed.
You do not look like what you've been through. Now, you've served over 20 years.
27.
27 years in prison. You were getting
28, really, if you count the little year I did in the state when I was really coming up in the game, you know, I just caught a little minor case.
It was a minor case before you got your because you were originally given like a life sentence.
Yeah, a life without the possibility, don't just say life sentence, without the possibility of parole.
Look at God.
Look at God. You know him?
And you home? Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
absolutely.
Yeah, dear God. I was supposed to die in prison.
Wow.
I had a death sentence.
Now you've been out for about what, 4 or 5 years now?
No, 6 years. It was six years in January.
Okay, I think I was one of the first to hit you. You remember? I was just starting my site at the time, and I was migrating from radio to going independent and what I'm doing now. And at the time, I was covering a lot of, you know, Steve Harvey, Marjorie Harvey videos. And people were telling me, they said, you gotta look into Jimmy Townsend, he's out. And I'm like, who is this? Yeah. And so I never put 2 and 2 together until I started doing the research. And Mary Harvey, Steve Harvey's ex-wife, was the one that really kind of blew the can off of everything.
What do you mean you just 2 and 2 together, you start putting 2 and 2 together?
Like that Marjorie's background was linked to you.
Oh, okay.
And that's where I guess...
You didn't know I was her first husband?
I did not know. Okay. It was Mary Harvey that put us on game.
Oh, really?
Steve Harvey's first wife.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so that's when I was just like, well, who is this guy? And then like when you first got out, I know that you had a lot of publications like hitting you up and, you know, of course you reuniting with your family. Did you get out on a pardon?
Clemency.
A clemency?
Yeah.
And this was done under Obama, right?
Right. I got on clemency.
Wow, explain that. Like how did that process go?
Well, clemency gives the president the right to give you a clemency, not a pardon. It's a clemency, whereas they just reduce your sentence, right? So technically I did 30 years on that life sentence, right? Which was enough. Because with the good time, I did 27 calendars, but with the good time, it would have been 30. So you can say that I did a 30-year sentence with my good time. How was doing that time? Like, was it really hard? You know what, Tasha, I'm gonna tell you the truth now. It wasn't hard as you would think, people would think that it was. Because when I first got in prison, Christ came into my life. I got saved in prison. Wow. And when I say saved, I'm talking about truly born again Christian. I understand truly who Jesus Christ was and what he meant to me. And Lord and Savior. And I was raised up pretty much in a church, but I mean, it was just traditional. We just was going, I was just going to, because I had to, it was mandatory, with my auntie. And so, yeah, as soon as I got in prison, God didn't play no games with me. There's just this piece about you that is just like, really just kind of, it's just dripping off of you. Like, it's this inner peace, this inner calm. I feel it. Like, I'm always hyper. So when I come into contact with people like you who are just really still and really peaceful, not that it bothers me, but it's kind of like, oh my God, like I gotta, because sometimes I'll be like, I just do too much. You think so? I do, because I'm hyper as hell. But no, I could tell like, there's not a worry in the world. Like I could just feel it, like all is good. Well, let me say this. If anybody had told me that I could have went through prison with those 27 years with the peace that I did have before I did it, I would tell you a lie. How can I go through 27 years of my life in prison talking about with some peace and joy? But I did. And it was only because of Christ in me. Then you got to deal with, you know, my co-defendant, my right-hand man, he testified against me. See not snitching. Now we be talking about these snitches in modern day. And yeah. Who was your co-defendant? My co-defendant was Willie Hare Skipper. Willie Hare Skipper. See, they really didn't have nothing on me. They had just ghost dope, pretty much. Ghost dope. Dope, all that, you know, because in my indictment, it read, I'm found guilty of multi-kilos of cocaine. Oh, so how much is multi-kilo? I can go from 2 to 2,000. Yeah. See, but they didn't have a number. They didn't have a number. No, because it was just based off of his testimony. Testimony, yeah. Based off testimony, though. And so, and really, I think I gave you some notes too. You did. No, we're gonna get into these, but I wanted people to get to know the background of you, you know, and how impactful
you know, you were to the drug game, you know? And so the fact that it took someone testifying against you to bring you, you know, to bring you down, like how big was, even though like, I know you said you was moving like 30 plus kilos a week, like how big did your organization get? Like how many people did you have under you? Like,
it was really like a family thing. Underneath me, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was about a ring of 5 of us.
It was 5 of you.
Counting my brother.
Okay.
Yeah, so
where's your brother now?
He's still around. He's,
okay.
He's a sickle cell anemic, so he's on crutches.
Oh wow.
And then he was just, you know, sadly, he was just diagnosed for lupus.
Oh wow. Wow.
So yeah, but he's still around.
Okay.
In fact, the doctor told him he would not see 12 years old. The doctor been dead, and he's 60 years old now.
Now, where's your right-hand man? Is he?
And that's another story, by the grace of God. And he's here in Memphis, but he's wheelchair bound. He got a lot of ailments. But I forgave him in prison. Okay. I forgave him, you know.
Did he go to prison as well too?
Yeah, he did 5 years on 7.
5 to 7. And
he did 5 years on a 7 year.
On a 7, okay. And y'all, this was y'all thing together?
Yeah, he's like my lieutenant.
Okay.
You know, my right-hand man. And so.
You're so calm. I can't see you like being like this. And I saw the pictures, you know, the pictures that you posted, like with you and Marjorie in the windbreaker suits and stuff. Like you posted that. I was just like, it was really cool.
Yeah.
Like.
The only thing I do hate is that I did not, all of my pictures from Chicago and all the ones that I had in Memphis, my personal pictures, you know, they got destroyed in my mother's garage. Yeah, rain damage and just destroyed.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, man, that's the only thing I hate.
Well, I mean,
10 years of pictures in Chicago.
That's a lot. I tell people to get safety deposit boxes all the time, especially for photos. But now, luckily, we have the digital footprint now, so we don't have to do all that.
Well, you know, back then, Tosh, you got to remember when I left the streets, what was it? I was still on cassette tapes, you know.
What year did you go to prison?
In 91.
91?
Yeah.
Damn, I was
DVDs back then.
I was 11 years old.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that ain't no shade to you. I'm just saying, like.
No, I mean, I'm cool. Yeah. I'm good. Yeah, so all this technical stuff, I still never got into it. I just dealt with the social media. I don't even really deal with it.
Yeah. Tell me about your childhood though, before you got into the dope game. Like, what was that like growing up?
And that's what I want people to really know, because my platform that I'm building up this book, because really it's about getting in a position where I can help these younger people, you know, by the ills of selling and using drugs, and not always but domestic violence, being abused as a child. See, I went through all of that. My dad was the devil, I would say, you know, talking about beating, kicking, telling you that, you know, you ain't gonna never be shit, and actually kicking you in your ass and slapping me upside my ear so my blood came. I went through all of that. He chased me when I was 5 years old, I never forgot it, with an axe. He was drunk, he was alcoholic. So I went through a lot, and you got to understand, people got to understand that when you're that young, and when you go through all that pain, and then you don't have a way to release it or somebody to talk to, you know, you hold it within, you put a Band-Aid on it. And so, and I'm telling you, over the years, it takes its toll on, you know, it did. And so, yeah, I went through.
So did you finish high school?
I did. And you know, that was one thing that I forced myself to do, because my dad didn't. He was borderline illiterate. He was illiterate because he never could read or write. Well, he could write his name, but.
He grew up in Memphis as well too?
Well, Mississippi. He migrated to. Yeah.
And your mom as well?
Well, I ended up in Memphis because he kidnapped us from Mississippi when I was 5. He kidnapped us. You know what I'm saying?
How the hell he do that?
Well, my mom, quick story. My mom, he was so abusive, you know. In fact, you know, in Mississippi, you know, men down there, the whole thing was to keep women barefoot and pregnant. And so he was just so abusive to her. In fact, I thought her middle name was bitch, because you know what I'm saying, he called her bitch so much.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, he was just that abusive, and so anyway, Mississippi. So my mom's thought was to get away from him, so she took me and my brother to my great grandmother, and left us there. She sneaked off and left us there, with the intent on going to Chicago, finding a job, and coming back and getting us. Well, during that time, he didn't want us, but he didn't want her to have it. So he figured out a way. He kidnapped us from my great-grandmother and just took us to Memphis. He had a sister here in Memphis and left us here. So, like I said, he didn't want us, but he didn't want her. It was his way of trying to hurt her.
Wow.
So
did she ever eventually come back for you?
I didn't see my mom. I was just turning 6, so I didn't see her until I was 11. And I hated my mom. I had to learn to love my mom all over, because in my little young mind, I thought she just left me and my baby brother that he was 3 and just abandoned us.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I never did talk to her, even let us talk to her. And so that was a deep hurt in my life, because I hated my mom, which I shouldn't have.
It was your father.
Yeah, she loved us, but she was just trying to do something to make, to get us to Chicago, away from him.
Did you ever, so you never had a conversation with your mom to smooth things over?
With my mom? Oh,
yeah.
we got together. That was my girl. We finally got together
after
11 years, because he tricked her back to Memphis from Chicago.
Okay.
And she came back from Chicago. He put, 5 babies in her. Bam, 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 And so by me being the oldest, I had to pretty much raise my little sisters and brothers, because he abandoned us. We ended up in the projects and all that. So that's one of the reasons I tell people that's why I want to build a platform to where I can go and people call me and go and speak to these kids.
Uh-oh.
I thought I'm glad it went off before we started.
I'm gonna pour you some wine while you turn.
Yeah. I put on Afro.
Yes.
I thought it did anyway.
You like it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I was gonna say, this is my wine right here, Snoop Dogg.
I like that, yeah, Snoop.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah.
I'm in a little wine club, so
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you a wino for real?
That's all I drink is red wine.
Okay, me too. Look.
Really, mine just Cabernet Sauvignon and Merlot.
Yes. Cheers. Okay. Salud. All right, now, okay, because I had thought when you was like, you hated her, and I remember you said she came back at 11, so I didn't think like you guys actually reunited and you got to have that conversation.
We did. My mom was so passive, country girl, and I mean, 8th grade education, that type, so, but sweet as pie.
Oh.
And my dad was so undeserving of her, because she was a beautiful woman.
Wow.
But like I said, I had to learn to love my mom all over again. Mm-hmm.
And was it hard?
It was. I never, I'm telling you, it's indelible in my mind, because I remember when she came and I was tossed, wrestling with the fact that I don't like her. I don't like her. But now we reuniting, and I remember when they had to make me go and embrace her. When she was hugging me, I was like a piece of cardboard, because I didn't know how to love, one of those type of things.
I think your dad.
And sometimes I get emotional when I think about it, but and I'm 74 years old, but yeah. But
I think your dad had a lot to do with that too.
My dad?
Yeah, I mean, with him calling her so many names and everything.
Oh,
and then
not only calling her name, beating her and all that crazy stuff. This nigga used to get so drunk. In fact, he got a missing finger. He got so drunk, he slammed his finger into a car door.
Damn.
Damn it, yeah. And he got this missing finger to this day.
Okay. Are your parents, are they still living?
No, they both dead.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
My mom died first. And my dad was 94 when he died.
Damn. It always be,
that's what I
be trying to tell people.
Did nobody think that man was going to make it to 70 years old? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This joker lived 94, well, a week before his birthday in 94.
And was drinking.
So 94, huh?
And was drinking and
stuff. No,
stuff.
he stopped drinking. That's one thing he did. Yeah, they told him he was going to have cirrhosis of the liver. And that nigga stopped drinking. You hear me?
Wow.
I'm talking about cold turkey. I never saw him take another drink again. He was drinking that back in the day. He was drinking that corn liquor.
Oh.
You familiar with that?
Yeah. I had some when I was up in Hagerstown. They used to make it. And they used to bring it in mason jars and get. I'm like, I ain't drinking this.
Well, see, he was a bootlegger. So he was a bootlegger in Memphis. He bootlegged.
94 years old.
A week before 94, so just say 94.
Damn. Did you guys ever make up?
You know what we did? I led my dad to Christ.
Really?
Pretty much on his deathbed. I led my first wife out of prison, led her to Christ on her deathbed.
Wow.
Yeah, my first wife. So like I said,
I'm surprised you're not pastoring.
who, me?
Yeah.
I'm an ambassador of Christ. I mean, I don't pastor a church, but I mean,
Okay.
I don't see myself as a pastor.
I would go. If you started a church, I would be here.
No.
Yeah. They don't make pastors pure-hearted no more. You know, they all got ulterior motives and...
Well, see, that's what I'm, in with this book, you know, Snakes in the Garden. And
Yes.
Everybody got ulterior motives, whether good or bad.
And listen, I cannot wait to read this book.
Yeah.
Just in case the viewers aren't familiar, you have been working on a book for quite some time. It's called Snakes in the Garden. You were slated to release a few.
Now, I wrote the book 13 years ago.
You wrote it?
I wrote the book in prison.
Okay.
You know, it's just all about editing and that. So.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, back in prison, you know, I wrote it long.
Well, I'll put you in contact with some people that can help you to get that to the finish line, and you can be self-published.
We there.
Yes.
We there.
I mean, benefits of having such a big platform. We know some people.
So you know, it's Tasha. Remember, it's 2 books. It's really a 3-book series because post prison, I done had so much dramatic stuff going on with Marjorie and Steve Harvey. Let me tell you this here real quick too.
Okay, go ahead.
The reason I took the book off the shelf and started by writing it was really because of Steve Harvey. I got a link from a friend of mine, and she sent the link, and the link was Steve Harvey was having this interview. Listen to this. So, but he was having this interview, and he was talking about Jason, my son Jason, by Marjorie.
Who now has Steve Harvey's last name.
Yeah.
He's not a Townsend.
That's a story in itself, how that went down. Huh?
He's not a Townsend.
No.
Okay.
He wanted to. When I got out of prison, he explained everything to me. So he wanted to hyphenate his name, you know, Harvey. I said, no, man, go on, keep Harvey. Don't add Townsend now, you know, because we had a long talk before he did it. And I almost died in prison because, you know, out of all my kids, he was the only one really.
That kept in contact with you?
No, not. I had a good family base.
You did?
For 20 years, people don't understand. For 20 years, Marjorie was by my side as my friend. You know, when I first got to life sentence.
Let's get into that, because I know you're writing a 3-part series, and you know, you being, I mean, the top dog in the drug game, you know.
At that time.
At that time, when did you meet Marjorie?
When she was 18.
18. And how old were you?
She had just turned 18, so I'm 14 years old as well, about 32, something like
32?
that. Yeah.
Now, you know they say they'll cancel you in these day times, you know.
They'll do what?
They'll cancel you, you know what I'm saying? They say, why you messing with them young girls?
She was grown. She's 18.
Yeah. Like, well, when
she was legal, 18 illegal.
See, that's what they,
you know. And the reason I started messing with young women, that's a story in itself. I tell about that in the book, because an older woman turned me out at 16.
What?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I mean, we've heard those
turned
stories.
me out. I mean.
Well, yeah, no, a lot of, we hear that a lot.
She's a cougar. In fact, I titled that the cougar.
So how much older was she?
She was like 36.
And she was sleeping with a 16-year-old?
She was married.
Married?
Mm-hmm. But her husband was drove one of those 18-wheelers back then.
Damn.
So he was gone a lot. So she had me cutting her grass. In fact, he hired me to cut his grass and everything.
And you cut down his wife.
Yeah, you know.
See, and it's acceptable for a 60-year-old and a grown woman.
No, it wasn't. I'm telling you.
As a young man, it was considered cool, but for a young girl.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to understand, I was so naive, thought I was cool, but I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
This grown woman, man, and when I saw her naked, I never, you know, I had to move. I mean, you know, so I mean, it was like I became her boy toy. That's all it was.
Oh my God! So were you already established in the drug game when you met Marjorie?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And so.
See, I started the drug game in Chicago.
And you was around 20 years old when you got into it.
I was, yeah, that's because I left Memphis when I was 19.
So 14 years or so in the game already.
I lived in Chicago for about 10 years.
Okay.
So, yeah,
all right. How much money were you making at the time when you met Marjorie?
Well, you count it up. You know, I had my own business, clubs. Yeah, I had a club. I had opened a club, a successful club, my first club.
Okay.
The Illusion. I wanted to take you guys to show some of the spots. What time y'all leaving tomorrow?
We're not. We're staying till Monday.
Really?
Yeah, so we can.
So we get
I
together
can
and go see some
absolutely.
spots and,
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
And make sure we take some pictures at night so I can post tomorrow.
Okay. Great. So now I want to see you. So you own a club called Delusions, you said?
Delusion.
Delusion.
No, THED. Illusion.
Oh,
ILLUSION.
Okay, got it. And so did you meet her like inside the club or?
Well, actually, that club, when I met Marjorie, I had my second club. I had another club I was just opening. I was in the process of opening it up called J Max.
Okay.
Which was a real popular club downtown area. They just, in fact, they tore the building down now. It used to be called the Muhammad Ali Theater. Yeah, Muhammad Ali had some his hands in it, his name or some kind of way. But anyway, the building now turned into a nightclub.
So was it like when you first saw her, was it kind of like, you know, because Steve Harvey describes it when he saw her, I'm gonna marry you one day, I just don't know when, but he was already married. Was it like that for you when you met her?
You gotta remember she was 18, very naive, just not too long out of high school.
Yeah.
But she was going to Memphis State College though. And she was working as a cashier at Morrison Cafeteria. Okay. As a cashier, and in fact, a friend of mine came. I had a beauty shop tour that was had a beauty shop club. Okay. So I think I was Harold. He's dead now, but anyway, he came to me and said, "Man, you got to come down here and meet this little young chick down here. She cashier down at the cafeteria anyway." So anyway, he dragged me down there, you know, because he had blew her up, so she was so gorgeous and all that. So I go down, and he wasn't lying, because she was.
Yeah, I mean, she's extremely gorgeous.
She's kind of nice girl, you know. And so anyway, we, long story short, she wouldn't give me, I come to think of, she wouldn't give me a number, because we said an 8, and you know, I tried to be impressionable from the extent, you know, I had a big bankroll and I paid and all like that. People
you pulled out the water cash and everything?
Well, I had one. I mean, you know, you gotta understand, I had a, you know, the knot, so I put to make sure she see it. All
yeah.
You know, so, but anyway, I told her to give me her number, but she wouldn't. So she said, "Give me your number." So I gave her my number. I said, "Well, give me a call, you know, get a chance." But she never did. She never did call me, right? And so I forgot about it. I never did go back down there. And, because I had too much going on, you know, with other women.
How many women did you have at the time?
Well, I'm not gonna lie. You know, I was, you know.
Most drug dealers are.
I mean, you know, they would come at you, you know. So, but anyway, yeah. But anyway, so this particular day they had just opened up this mall. It was a new mall. Okay. And they had opened it up, so I was with this other young lady. I think I had a little 2-seater red Mercedes-Benz at that time. And so we pulled up, because this restaurant had just opened up in the mall, so we wanted to go and check it out. And so we go and check out the restaurant. And it's had upstairs and downstairs. Now remind me, it's in the mall, right? So you can look out over the mall and, you know, see the people and all like that. So anyway, we're in the mall. So I get a call on my beeper from my lieutenant, Pete, the one that rolled over on me. And so, but you know, we don't talk on the phone. So I go downstairs, the payphones, in fact, the payphones are in the lobby of the mall, and you could look out the window and see the phones down in the lobby. So I'm using the phone. Okay. And I'm talking to Pete, but I got my back turned. And so when I turned around like that, there she is, looking at me, grinning like a chest-cow cat. And so, and I said, "Hold up, Pete." And what I said, whatever I said to her. And to this day, Tasha, I was wondering, because everybody asked me, "Do you think she's a gold digger?" So I don't, to this day, now you know what, I can never remember asking this girl, did she see me when I pulled up in a Mercedes with this other woman? You know, we were young then, you know. So to this day, I don't know if she saw me or not, right? But anyway, when I turn around, I see her, right? So the woman I'm with, the young lady I'm with, she up in the restaurant, but she can look out over and see me engage in a conversation with Marjorie. Oh. You know what I mean? So, so I told her, I said, "Hey, what happened with the phone call? I never did get the phone call, blah, blah, blah." And still, she told me some kind of excuse or whatever she told me. And I said, okay then. So now, she give me her number.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I said, I don't know if she saw me when we pulled up and parked on the parking lot or whatever. But anyway, she gave me her number, and long story short, then the chick finished eating, and she asked me who was that I talking to, because she could see us out the window in the restaurant. I said, oh, just blah, blah, blah. And so we go shopping in the mall. And so Marjorie actually was stalking me. You know, I didn't know it. So I to this day, I believe, you know, because I remember she.
So you were going in and out of stores with the other woman?
Well, we was in Victoria's Secret.
Okay.
Because she went in. Now be mindful, at this time I'm married. I'm married to my first wife.
And you was out with another chick?
When I met her. Yeah, I was just.
I know, it's okay. It's
okay,
not who you are now.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you go. I got to keep reminding myself.
Yes, it's not who
But
you
I don't, you know what? I don't want to glamorize nothing that I've done. But I mean,
you were human. You were, you know, that was the lifestyle. Mm-hmm. And if you didn't participate in the lifestyle, it's like, then what were you in it for? And, you know, so it kind of goes hand in hand. So no one's judging it. I mean, this was umpteen amount of years ago. Like, no one's saying that that's what your character is now. You're just kind of explaining the dynamics of things, you know, and what comes along with being a kingpin and being an entrepreneur such as yourself and having multiple businesses, and it comes with multiple women and that you can't stop.
Yeah.
So.
But I do want people to know and understand that it's not about throwing Marjorie under the bus. But I have came to a point in my life where she got to be accountable for what she's doing. Because for 6 years, you know, leave me alone. All I want to do is bond with my kids and my grandkids. You see what I'm saying?
She's making that.
That's why I didn't write it. You remember when I talked to you, I think it was a year or two ago. And I said, no, I changed my mind again. No, forget that book.
Yeah, you was like, I don't want to put out the book. I'm moving on. I'm just trying to focus on my life. And did that have something to do with?
It's really all about the grandkids and my kids,
Right. Did that have something to do with your relationship with Marjorie and Steve?
No, this is what I'm trying to get people to see. For 20 years, this girl, and I'm thankful that Morgan came to the point in her life to ask herself, you know, because initially she was totally against me with writing a book, well, publishing a book, right? And I backed off of that. I said, because she and Jason, they was really on me because they thought it was all about throwing Marjorie under the bus. And
Jason's your son?
Jason's my son.
Okay.
And so I assured them, I said, man, it's not about Marjorie. It's just me. I think a lot of stuff happened that I just want people to share, and maybe somebody can help somebody, you know, what I went through. Because a lot of times, you know, a lot of things that you've gone through, you can talk, you can speak about them because you lived them. You see what I'm saying? Like I was telling you about the abuse, the child abuse, the domestic violence, and all those things, you know.
Like, you haven't even gone into full detail on that stuff, so I can't imagine, you know, when you're writing something, what that's going to entail, because you're able to kind of go back, look over it, add more details and things that you forget to normally say during interviews like this. It's only so much time we have, you know. So when you met Marjorie, did you guys okay? So you called her. Did you instantly hit it off?
No, like I said, like I told you, you know, she was supposed to have called me. She never did. I told you, I didn't bump into her, and I'll even think about her again until we bumped into each other.
Right, but she gave you her number then.
She gave me her number then.
And did you call her?
Yeah, I eventually called her.
Okay.
You know,
but you didn't rush.
Almost not to. I almost
you didn't rush
not.
to do it.
No, I did not. I did not. You know.
Okay.
Because I had so much going on, and I had women in my life. You know, I mean, I had some, you know, nice women in my life. So at that particular time, but eventually I did. It might have been a week or so later, and I guess that was my way of making her sweat. You know, I ain't interested.
Okay.
Because you didn't call me when, you know, that type of thing.
When she came into your life, did you guys immediately hit it off?
Yeah, because in my mindset, you got to understand too. In my mindset, it wasn't okay. You played me like that. You didn't call me like you said you were. Now, you know, so. I did everything, and be mindful that I was turned out by an older woman. You see what I'm saying?
So this is a young woman, so you're like...
Yeah, but behind that, I fell in love with this 36-year-old woman. Okay. I'm 16. When she took me through, I thought I was in love, you know, and when she cut it off, man, I was sick. You know, you talking about a 16 naive
Oh, I understand.
You see
No,
what I'm
I
saying?
understand.
That this woman, grown woman, that took you down through and showed you everything that at 16 that a grown man didn't know.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So actually, it was child abuse.
No, it was. It
was.
was statutory rape.
It was.
Child abuse.
It was.
Mental. You're thinking that you're actually in love with this person, but the entire time she's using you.
Yeah. It was.
And you're just a child.
I was.
Yeah.
And then when she cut me off, man.
You didn't understand that.
No, because, you know, she was married, but to me, she was my wife.
Yeah.
And I got mad when I saw the 18-wheeler truck. We didn't bring the whole trailer, just the cab part.
Yeah, and parked it in the yard.
When I saw that, man, I mean, this thing in my territory.
Like, he need to
this
get out
man's
of my
wife.
house.
Yeah, that kind of thing. I was messed up.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
You weren't gonna let nobody break your heart like that no more.
That was my whole thing. And then the only thing that an older woman could tell me now, it showed me who a younger woman was. That was my whole attitude from then on out. Because my first wife, she was 12 years younger than me. And my other real close that was in the game with me, Lola, she was, 8 years younger than me. So all my women was at least 6 and younger.
Okay.
Dating.
Okay.
So that type of thing.
So you guys hit it off. Now, was it for a while, Marjorie, your wife, and other women?
See, that was drama. It's just like what she's going through with Mary and Steve Harvey.
Right.
Okay, but I can't blame much because I lied. She didn't know I was married.
Okay.
So I got to give her that props. But after she found out, it was still on. If she went back now, she was too far gone.
Okay.
But yeah, I lied. I didn't tell her I was married. I deceived her.
How long were you guys together?
6 years.
Okay, and when did you
Before I went to prison.
And then when did you have your first baby?
I think Marjorie was 19?
Okay.
Yeah, but see, the whole deal with Marjorie was, that's what I'm saying, Marjorie was a player.
When you say player?
Well, when I say that, because listen, she was on the pill, and I told you, I had 3 kids already out of wedlock.
Okay.
So I had this conversation with her. I said, listen, I don't want no more kids. And she said, well, because, you know, I really loved kids, but I understood sort of, I can't be there with them and be a father, because see, my father went in the household. Mm-hmm. So I didn't want to be like him from that perspective, you know. But I didn't have the know-how to, hey, well, don't do this, you know, get one woman and, you know, stay with that. So, but I had this talk with Marjorie. I said, Marjorie, listen, I got 3 babies out of wedlock. I don't want another kid out of wedlock. I'm taking care of them, you know, I was taking care of my kids. Mm-hmm. But she was saying, oh, no, I'm on the birth control pill. I'm on the pill, blah, blah, blah. I said, well, that's cool. But she ended up getting pregnant. And I know she did it on purpose. Why you say that? She got off the pill. I know she was off the pill. And her mother knew it too. See, me and her mother had a back then. This is between me and you, Tasha, too. I'm gonna write about it in the book.
Yeah, but do tell them. Just give us some detail now about the mama. You used to talk to the mom. What?
No, the mother is, when she found out that Marjorie was pregnant, right? She went crazy. And I went crazy too, because we had this conversation. Marjorie, you know, I don't want any more kids. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And so her mom knew it, and I felt it too. She did it on purpose. She stopped taking pills. I know she did, and her mama did too. So her mother was very disappointed, and because her mother wanted her to go to college. But Marjorie had jumped out of college anyway. She didn't want to go to college, because she wasn't college material, to be perfectly honest.
But was you taking care of Marjorie at the time when she was in between college and dating you? Did you get her own place?
When I met her, she was driving, trying to perpetrate with what you call that little funny looking car? I can't even think of the name. But she had some little beat up car. They don't even make them no more.
So you bought her a car?
No, she had a little car. Her dad, you got to understand, it was just her and her brother and her. They had only 2 kids that her parents had. Okay. And of course, Marjorie was the apple of her dad's eye. He would kill a gorilla over her, that type of thing. So, but anyway, Marjorie, she gets pregnant on purpose. She did. So her mom and I, because her mom was on me trying to convince her to have an abortion, okay? Okay. And we pressed her, because I said, you don't have an abortion, because I told you I didn't want any more kids. And her mom used to, you gotta have it because you don't need no kids, you need to go back and get in college and blah, blah, blah. But like, Marjorie had no intention of going back to college, no way. That just wasn't her. She wasn't college material.
What you mean by that?
I'm just being honest. I'm being straight up. She was not.
What you mean? What you mean college material? What attributes?
Intellectually.
Okay.
Yeah, she wasn't. She wasn't.
Okay.
I know what she thinking about college.
Okay.
That's why she dropped out. She didn't drop out of college because of me. She had already dropped out of college. So I don't know what her mom with the big fuss. But bottom line is we pressed her to get an abortion. And she told us, y'all crazy hell, I'm not gonna get rid of my baby. And I'm glad she didn't, she was right. So, but anyway, I backed up off her and I told her mom, I said, just leave her alone. I can take care of the baby. I can afford it. Big deal. Just leave her alone, I'm through with it. But her mom wasn't. She kept pressing her. Till Marjorie took an overdose of pills. She was in the hospital, yeah. She pump faking, but she didn't know she could have, hurt the baby and all like that. Yeah, she ended up in the hospital, had to pump her stomach and all
Oh
that.
my gosh, what did she take?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what it was back then. Whatever it was, they pumped her stomach. And see, her dad didn't know nothing about this. But we was pressing because her dad is truly, I'm talking about, I wanted to be like him because he was straight up the real deal as far as a family man, ideal husband, and an ideal father figure. He loved his kids,
Okay.
Ideal. And so that's one of the things that Marjorie, when she told me, before she married Steve Harvey, they was dating. Because now be mindful that all this time we talking, even while she was dating. I could call her anytime, day or night. Me and Laura's daddy talked, and I thanked him for looking out for the family. We had that kind of rapport, I called him and I thanked him for, and like I said, for 20 years, Marjorie brought the kids to visit me. As a friend, we just friends now. She done gone on with her life, dating and whatever she doing. And I'm going on with my life trying to, fight and get out of prison. So it was that type thing. So, but when 3 days, I talked to them to show you how close we were.
Okay.
3 days before she got married to Steve Harvey, we talked. And she told me, she said, Jimmy, Jimmy, you know what, Steve, he's so much like my dad, And when she said that, I said, like your dad? She said, yeah, you're like him, Jimmy, because he's just like, my dad. And when she said that, I said, because I knew how her dad was. He was a real deal. You see what I'm saying? My husband to parent. And I said, oh, you gotta wonder then if he like your dad. She BS'd me on that.
I wasn't ready.
When I come to find out.
I wasn't ready.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, oh, she done hit, the real deal, blah, blah, blah. So that's 3 days before she got married. I said, okay, I'm gonna call you after marriage, congratulations and all like that, right? I wrote them, that's another thing. I wrote Marjorie and Steve Harvey a letter before they got married. Okay. And was thanking him for looking out for my kids. No, I wrote the letter afterwards, come to think of it, because I never did hear from him. But anyway, 3 days after she got married, 3 days before she got married, then I think it was a day or two, I called her. I never heard that woman's voice again. 20 years. So I'd tell everybody I talked to, I said, you draw the conclusion. We cool for 20 years, never had an argument. The only little disagreement we had is when Laura's dad tried to gave Morgan a little Mercedes. And I told him, I said, Marjorie, that ain't cool. Y'all shouldn't give her that Mercedes. She's 16 and they carjacking like crazy. That's gonna draw a carjacker like a magnet to a young 16-year-old. I said, sell the car and buy something that's more conducive for a little 16-year-old. So we felt out like, well, that's what he wanted to have and blah, blah. I said, and I tried to talk Morgan out of it. I said, Morgan, you don't need that Mercedes.
And Morgan is
that's my daughter.
That's Marjorie. Your daughter.
Morgan,
okay.
I got Morgan and Jason.
Morgan and Jason.
Don't let me leave you. Don't let me lose you now, baby.
No, I was like, Morgan, where'd she come from? Yeah. Like, okay, so that's your other baby. Yeah. So, okay. All right.
So, yeah, so that's what happened with that. I was saying, so I be trying to tell people, me and Marjorie was tight as friends the whole time I went to prison. I could call her if I needed anything, she'd do it. She was bringing those kids to see me up until, even with Donnell, Laura's dad was cool. We cool. Until 3 days before she got married.
And then she just...
The day after, 2 days after, I called her like I told her I was gonna call her and, congratulated, good, well job, blah, blah. I never heard her voice again to this day. Not on the phone, social media. So.
Oh, wow. What about your children?
What about them?
Did you hear their voices? Were you?
Yeah, my kids, my kids were still cool.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
But I tell people, you draw your own conclusion. I talked for 20 years, I talked to her, and I talked to her second husband, no problem. But the day after she married Steve Harvey, her phone cut off.
Now, let me ask you something. There's rumors of her being, like, I guess, taking over your empire or running it or managing the money while you were in prison. Is that true?
Well, listen, I don't know what's true because everything was speculation. No, I mean, as far as me going to prison, here's my connect, and you know, you take over and all like that. No, but she already had the numbers to my connect. Now, I still talk to one of them. Yeah, they did something, right? But that was just speculation. Second part, I mean, hearsay. So I don't want to say something. Everything I say, it's got to be true.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, she was. Her and Donnell, yeah, she had took my connect and she was using it. Wayne Jefferson out of Houston. Yeah, she was getting drugs, keys, and giving it to her husband, Donnell. And no, they were still moving drugs.
Now,
I'm in prison,
while
so
all
I'm
this
just
is going
saying.
down,
Huh?
While all this is going down, you're in prison.
Yeah.
Okay.
She, you know, you gotta understand, Marjorie didn't just start wearing designer clothes and $5,000 Coach purses and all like that. Marjorie was dressing like, what y'all called it?
Like me.
Like the.
Like me. This is Fashion Nova.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Marjorie didn't just get married to Steve Harvey and understand she was living lives.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, we was nigga rich. I hate to see that, but so, no, she was living, you know, she was living like.
She had the house and the cars and.
Yeah, she didn't just $5,000 Coach purses and all like that, a wardrobe.
Now, what did your wife say about all this? Did you eventually?
Well, that's why we got divorced.
Okay, because of Marjorie?
Yeah, that's why we got a divorce.
Okay.
And that was a woman I should have stayed with. You know, she died with a broken heart. I hate that. She loved me, real deal love.
Did her and Marjorie have any run-ins?
Yeah, they did.
Did they fight?
No, they didn't. They did not. They just, you know, on the phone, you know, and like Lisa told her, that's my husband, blah, 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 you know, he married. See, I had lied to Marjorie. Yeah. Like I told you, I didn't tell her I was married, but it came to the light. And because it broke her heart, because she went to my brother and told my brother, you know, he married his wife, Lisa called him, blah, blah, and all that. And I don't know how Lisa got her number. But I'm trying to think too. So Terry called me, my brother Terry. He said, man, you didn't tell Marjorie you was married? No, I didn't. That type of thing. So, I don't know.
Now, let me ask you this. Now, there's another rumor online about you taking the rap for Marjorie. Like, did you do time for her? Did you save her from getting an indictment as well?
Yeah, I told you, that's the paperwork I was telling you. I left rushing out here trying to get here and didn't have to rush. I don't know why I left her laying on the bed. I had already pulled her to show you.
No, we'll get it tomorrow.
You know?
Yeah, we'll get it tomorrow.
So my thing is, yeah, I did that. But I tell everybody, I didn't get the life sentence because of my co-defendant that testified. Of course, by him testifying to me, rolling over on me on the day before trial, 2 days before trial, okay? So that gave them the firepower to, you know, embolden them to threaten me with a life sentence without the possibility of parole. See, because they could have given it to me because I had 3 strikes, the 3 strikes law, which the 3 strikes law, a lot of people don't, a lot of blacks don't understand that. I'm talking about my 2 drug priors were minute. One was a 0.5 gram of blow. I got a felon for that because I got busted with that, and the real was get high. And then the second one was a 0.5 ounce. You know what I'm saying? A powder, actually.
So they use those 2 minor offenses.
To enough cocaine you can put in your hand to use to enhance me to like with some ghost dope. It was a railroad, and the railroad was really because of Congressman Harold Ford. That's what I thought. You know, one of the things I told you about. Yeah. I didn't get the life sentence because because they came to me, offered me 20 years. And so when he found these tapes of banking business, Congressman Ford, between me and Congressman Harold Ford Sr., when they found these tapes in my house, once they raided my house, the tapes was hidden. And we were talking about banking business, me and my brother Terry and Harold Ford. I had given $30,000 to actually money laundered this money to get this Amoco station that we had just bought this lot. We were gonna have this Amoco station built, you know, with the
like gas
food
station?
store, like gas station, yeah. But of course, we couldn't walk in with $250,000 cash.
Right.
So, but he was hooked up in the banking business because two white boys, C.H. Butcher and Jake Butcher, had whole Tennessee wrapped up with the banking business. And they had the congressman in their hand.
So you had gone political.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. I told you the untold truth is snakes in the garden, the untold truth.
Right.
So a lot of people just speculate.
We're putting the link below. We're going to be reading and unwinding together.
Yeah.
Look.
We're going to start filming.
We already filming.
We filming?
We've been filming for the last hour.
Are you serious?
Yes.
I'm here texting about waiting. I'm thinking about where is your
It's
husband?
just such a regular conversation. You didn't even realize it. I'm just that good.
Oh man. Oh. Yeah, you got me on this one. I'm waiting for Shaq to come down and say, man, what is that?
No, he turned it on and went upstairs.
Oh man.
What, you thought it was a pre-interview?
Yeah.
No, we filmed it.
I didn't know we was filming.
I don't do those traditional interviews. I do, because people love authentic conversations. They don't want
you fooled me.
Well, here's the thing, because I didn't want you to turn on. So if I would have been like, all right, we filming, you would have turned on, you would have got into character. Not to say that you did it on purpose, but it's just
I'm digging in my nose and everything.
No, you're not.
Oh, was it?
You didn't dig in your nose, no.
Anyway, okay, it's all good. But anyway, like I said, I don't want to do anything that's, cause like I said, it's the untold truth.
Right.
And like I said, a lot of people was, you know, when you really look at it and when you go on the internet, I'm Laura's daddy, my cousin got a baby, that's all that crazy stuff.
Yeah, so just for the record, he's not Lori's father.
I'm not Lori. Where's the camera? Right there. I'm not Lori's father.
Okay, you just was with her mother for 6 years, but best friends for 20 years. Okay.
Yeah, for 20 years.
And you got 2 kids with her. Okay, so that now Steve Harvey has kind of stepped up and just taken your children's last name and just
well, I'm gonna tell you something too.
Erased you out.
Yeah, and one of the reasons that I did pick this book back up to publish it. Remember, I keep telling people I wrote that book 13 years ago, and I done pumped fake like I was gonna publish it, but
we're gonna get this book out.
Yeah.
It's coming out.
Yeah, almost definitely.
Yes.
Oh, ain't no question about that.
Okay.
So it's a lot of stuff that was happening, like I just explained to you, as far as, well, one of the reasons I picked this book back up, you know, Marjorie had done my daughter so wrong. Morgan had done her so wrong, and her husband. You see, they're estranged right now. Estranged. And so that just ticked me off, man. How you gonna do your daughter and her husband, and Morgan's husband, Kareem, is, I mean, any in-law would want a son-in-law like him. Perfect. Just remind me of Marjorie's daddy.
What did she do? Now I do know Lori is her favorite. Like, she puts Lori everywhere.
Oh yeah, well she's polishing more Lori for whatever she's doing.
Yeah, it's kind of like she's moving her into a lifestyle that, you know, she wished that she had when she was that age, or, you know, or younger, or just even or more. I mean, she pushing her to be a model. You know. And
you know, Marjorie used to do a little modeling work.
Really?
So I can see what you just said. I never looked at it that way, but you're right. Yeah.
But what did she do to Morgan and your daughter and her husband?
Like I said, like I was saying, she should love Kareem.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Because he's an excellent father and an excellent husband. Love our daughter to death. He does. I'm talking about, he get on my nerve. You know, sometimes the way he loving her so much.
But Marjorie doesn't like him.
No, she don't like him. And I was telling you, you know, we was talking about why did I pick the book back off the shelf.
Yes. Steve
Harvey, this is another reason. Not only because what Marjorie was doing to Morgan and her husband, but what Steve Harvey made a link. Somebody I told you they sent me a link.
Sent you a link.
And in that link, we never did finish that. In that link, he was saying that he was talking about Jason when Jason was about 15 years old. Jason was kind of rebellious, my son Jason. He was kind of rebellious. And in fact, they had to put him in a military school.
Okay.
But he told Steve Harvey one day, "You're not my father. Jimmy Townsend, my father," like that. So I guess it kind of pissed me. This is Steve Harvey with the interview talking. And so when Jason told him that, it kind of pissed him off. And he told Jason, "I love your mama, so I got to love you. Now, where's that punk ass, dad of yours?" You know what I'm saying? Talking about me. But I knew when he said that, why you say that, man? I'm not messing with nobody. I'm going on with my life. Why would you say that? So you got people, by saying that, you got people thinking I was a deadbeat. In fact, Jason wasn't even born when I left prison. Morgan was, but Morgan had the best of everything. All her life, went to private school, had the best of everything. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So other people saying, was I a deadbeat? No. And why did he say that to Jason like that? Tell Jason that. And so as I talked to my daughter, come to find out everything, that blended family thing and all that was just for the cameras.
Well, what about this link? So he sent you a link of Steve
that link,
saying
yeah.
that.
So that link, when he said that, it just ticked me off.
And that's when you was just like...
I said, you know what? No, my friend that sent me the link.
Yeah.
Yeah, from Cincinnati. She sent me the link, Cynthia. She sent me the link. And she said, "Jimmy," this is what she said. She said, "I want you to hear this link. Look what this mule mouth," she called him a mule mouth MF, they're saying about you. So when I looked at this link, and that's what he was saying. He called me a punk ass, and that just rubbed me the wrong way. And so I said, man, let me go and print my book.
But why did you not print it? Because you were slated to do it and release it when you got out. Was it because Marjorie called you and you just decided that, you know what, I'm just gonna let this rest? Because you had a story to tell outside of her. Yeah,
really. And that's what I was trying to get people to see. It's not all about Marjorie. I mean, she played an intricate part of my life. That's, so did two more women. And I tell people, I said, but even before I wrote the book in prison, I called Marjorie, I called Lisa, and I called Lola. All three of them was in the drug game with me. And I called them and asked if they have a problem with me writing a book about my story. And each one of them, and I remember just like it was yesterday, Marjorie was in Aspen, Colorado when I called her with her. And I told her about me writing my book, and did she have a problem? And she said, cavalierly, nonchalantly, "I don't care, that's your story, you tell it." That's what she told me. And Lola and Lisa told me the same thing, they didn't have a problem. So that's when I started writing the book, like I said, 13 years ago.
So
I had all that time.
So after he basically came for you, that's when you was just like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and just print my book. All gloves are off, and just tell your story, because he does have a huge platform, and what he says penetrates. So people will listen to that and think, well, he has been, I guess, somewhat to the viewer's perspective, or to anyone who's around him, raising your kids while you were in prison, but people don't know that you were still taking care of your children from behind bars.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't want to lie. No, I was not. All my kids were, that time when I went to prison, they was mostly grown, except Morgan and Jason at that particular time. So
But you was financially still supporting them.
No, I was not. I was not. You got to remember, those people I had just built a club from the ground up, Hawaiian Isle, and my 16-unit apartment building. They took everything I had. The government took everything I had.
Okay.
But be mindful that Marjorie was still secure. She had a duplex. No, she had a duplex. In fact, she got the 16-unit apartment building back. She had a
16-unit apartment building.
Yeah, we had that. The government took it from me initially. And the Hawaiian Isles, she eventually got that back. That was the name of my last club that I had. The government took that. They confiscated that. They was able to confiscate it because my right-hand man went to the forfeiture on nothing was in my name. So they couldn't have taken a club. Okay. But by him, I did give him monies to take to the interior decorator. Just so happened that particular day, I gave him, in fact, Marjorie had called me. This is when I was in the process of building. I built it from the ground up, the Hawaiian Isles. We tore down the whole building, I bought the whole plot, and was building it up. And so, but during that time, the interior decorator that was doing all the decoration within the club, she needed $15,000 that particular day. So Marjorie calls me, so I can't get to the money. She couldn't get to it. I said, well, that's no problem. Pete had just picked up my right-hand man, lieutenant. He had just picked up $30,000 from me. So I told him to take the $15,000 of it and take it to Marjorie so she could give it to the interior decorator. And I said, I said, you got to do that right now. Don't, you pretty much move. Go and take care of that right now. Don't skittle-daddle, I guess you can say. So anyway, he did that, and he took her the money. So people got to be mindful that even though my name was nowhere on the bill and all like that, because it was in a cooperation with Marjorie and my mom and so forth. And so anyway, but all the government has to do is prove that you put $1 of drug money into the furtherance of the business. They can take it. So they still couldn't have taken the building, but he went to the forfeiture and testified that he gave Marjorie $15,000 to give to the interior decorator.
So it wasn't you. Okay. So okay.
Yeah, so it was drug money.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? That he gave Marjorie.
So how did she get it back? How did she end up getting that?
Well, I think, you know what? This is what I heard.
Okay.
This is what I heard. I don't know just how true it is, but this basketball player, she had hooked up with him, and I can't think of his name. He's a professional basketball player, but she hooked up with him for a minute, and they said that he got it back for her some kind of way.
Okay.
They had gotten it back. Because the government
I sure would like to know that basketball player's name.
Yeah, I can't, you know what, I can't Todd Day.
Todd, huh?
Todd Day.
Day. Who he played for?
I think he played for, who did Todd Day play for? You know, I don't remember.
We got Google.
Yeah, Google it.
Todd Day. Now, so tell me about this paperwork that we're going to the University of Arkansas, and he also played for
NBA team. I think it was about 2 or 3 teams before he retired.
Yeah, it looks just like Arkansas. I don't really see. It says he did 8 seasons. He did University of Arkansas, played 8 seasons in the NBA.
What teams did he play for?
Selected by the Milwaukee Bucks, Boston Celtics, Miami Heat,
okay,
Milwaukee Bucks, Phoenix Suns. So okay.
Yeah, I know he had multiple teams he played for, but anyway, I heard that through the grapevine.
Okay.
Because I'm in prison, so that was prison grapevine.
Okay, but let me. So when you say you know, because I'm looking at a lot of the notes that I have, regarding the situationship, because like I said, there's been so many rumors out there, like you're Lori Harvey's dad, and she was this big time drug kingpin, and you took and did time for her to save her ass, and that's the reason why she's out now, and did not get indicted at all. So what happened with that?